Now let's see how you can do well in TOEFL IB test reading section. Number 1, become familiar with reading in English. You should be reading in English every single day. Read the newspaper or news online and find academic papers at the library or online. Don't just stick to topics related to areas that you are interested in. Become familiar with a variety of subjects. 2. Practice skimming passages rather than spending valuable time reading the passage in detail. Skimming is when you quickly glance through text rather than reading every single word. Then go back and read the passage more slowly. You will find you understand more now that you know what the key points of the passage are. 3. Highlight the main ideas of the passage. Often you will find this in the introduction. Also highlight key points and facts such as numbers and dates. You will not have time to read every paragraph in detail during your TOEFL reading exam, and practicing this regularly will increase your reading speed and fluency. 4. Make quick notes after your first or second reading to save time when looking back for the answers to the questions. 5. Don't worry if you are unfamiliar with the topic of the passage. Everything you need to know is to answer the questions that will be in the passage in your TOEFL reading section, and no prior knowledge is required. 6. Don't spend too much time on a question you are completely unsure of. If you don't know the answer to the question, try to eliminate any answers that you feel are not correct. You want to make sure you have enough time for the questions and answers you are sure of. 7. Practice creating charts, placing information from the passage in the appropriate category. For the TOEFL IB test reading exam, you don't have to create a chart, but you will be expected to fill in the chart with the correct choices, and this will help you think about putting the information you are reading into useful categories. 8. Increase your vocabulary and understanding of idioms. This will help your overall understanding of the passages in your TOEFL reading exam. Visit TOEFL grammar section for good examples. 9. Guess if you are running out of time. If you have very little time left, it's better to complete all questions than to leave an answer blank. Remember, you will not lose points for incorrect answers in your TOEFL reading exam. And finally, number 10, choose unfamiliar words from past TOEFL reading exams and try to guess what they mean from the words surrounding it, as well as using the context of the paragraph. This will help you stay calm during the exam when you come across words you don't know, as you will be well trained to make an educated guess. Now in the next 2 slides, I will give you some advice how to improve your TOEFL IB test reading skill. 1. Read as much and as often as possible. Make sure to include academic texts on a variety of topics written in different genres as part of your reading. Read major newspapers such as the New York Times or Science Times, or read any major newspapers published in your own country. Use the websites of National Public Radio, for example, or the BBC to get transcripts of shows and study the content and new vocabulary you encounter. 2. Continually expand your vocabulary knowledge. Now, how can you do this? Develop a system for recording unfamiliar words. Increase your vocabulary by analyzing word parts. Study roots, prefixes, and suffixes. Use available vocabulary resources. Practice using context to guess the meaning of unknown words. Continually practice using new words you encounter in your speech and writing. This will help you remember both the meaning and the correct usage of the words. Now, 3. Think carefully about how ideas are connected within a text. The connections between sentences and the links between paragraphs are critical to complete comprehension. To understand the structure of a reading passage, outline the text. Learn to recognize different organizational styles in order to understand the way an article is structured. Write a summary of a text, making sure that it incorporates the organizational pattern of the original. Now, here are 10 tips for you in order to know how to do well in TOEFL IB test writing section or writing exam. 1. Make a list of familiar topics. Write out every word in full. Keep your sentences simple. Make sure your essay has a structure. Don't try to write too much. 6. Become confident with paraphrasing. Take your time to make sure you completely understand the question. Give details and examples to support your opinions. Use tenses appropriately. And 10. Write in English every day. Now, in the next 2 slides, there are 6 tips for you by which you can improve your TOEFL IB test writing skill. 1. Pay attention to how ideas support a position and practice generating ideas to support a position. Read articles and essays that express opinions about an issue, for example, a social, environmental, or educational issue. Write a response to the article or essay in English, taking the opposite viewpoint. Reread what you have written. 2. Pay attention to how you organize ideas and think about how a reader who isn't familiar with your topic is going to be able to follow the information you want to present. In doing so, you need to spend time planning and thinking about how to organize your ideas. Your reader should be able to understand your essay, how your essay is organized. Have a friend or a teacher outline your essay so that you can see if others can recognize your method of organization. Make sure you are using the right words to connect your ideas and supporting information in the way you want your reader to understand them. Now, you also need to think about who will be reading your writing. In some situations, you need to write in a formal manner, and your sentence structure, vocabulary use, and general style should reflect that. 4. Work to expand the types of sentences you write and increase your vocabulary. Write paragraphs in English that contain several complete sentences. Create your own dictionary of English words. Use those words in your own writing. Try writing longer and more complex sentences instead of short, simple sentences. Focus on appropriate sentence formation and accurate word choice. Read short but interesting academic articles in magazines and on websites in your own language each day. 5. Make your writing clear by avoiding grammatical mistakes. Avoid using vague words and phrases. Focus on a different aspect of English grammar each week and complete grammar exercises that reinforce this aspect. Read an article or essay in English in a magazine or on a website each day. And 6. Read a lot in English. This will help you recognize good writing styles. And I wish you all the best in your TOEFL IB test whenever you are going to take it. Now here is the list of resources that I have referred to for making this video clip. For more video lessons on English, visit my site www.recyclingenglish.com.